Levels of awareness generally refer to the varying degrees of consciousness or perception an individual can experience, whether about themselves, their surroundings, or abstract concepts. This idea pops up in psychology, philosophy, spirituality, and even neuroscience, each with its spin. Let's break it down a bit. In psychology, you might look at awareness through something like consciousness models. Take Freud's iceberg analogy. There's the conscious mind, what you're actively thinking about, the preconscious, stuff you can recall if prompted, and the unconscious, deep-seated drives and memories you don't even know are steering you. Modern takes, like those from neuroscientists, might tie awareness to brain activity, how much you're processing, and how intentional it is. Philosophically, awareness levels could mean self-awareness or existential awareness. Think of it as a spectrum. At one end, you're just reacting to stimuli like a basic organism. At the other, you're pondering your place in the cosmos. Some frameworks, like Robert Kegan's stages of adult development, describe this as evolving from a self-focused mindset to one that grasps complex systems and interdependence. Spiritually, traditions like Buddhism or mindfulness practices often frame awareness in layers, starting with basic sensory awareness, noticing sounds, sensations, moving to meta-awareness, watching your thoughts, and aiming for something transcendent like enlightenment, where the self dissolves into a broader unity. Practically speaking, you could think of everyday awareness levels too. Ever been so zoned out you miss your exit on the highway? That's low awareness. Compare that to being in the zone during a task, hyper-focused, or even that rare moment when you're fully present with no mental chatter. Which angle interests you most? I could dig deeper into one, like how awareness ties to decision-making or maybe its role in AI. Ironic, right? Or keep riffing across the board. Your call. All right, let's break down levels of awareness into a clear framework. There's no single official list, but I'll synthesize a practical model based on how this concept shows up across psychology, neuroscience, philosophy, and everyday experience. I'll outline 5 levels, then dive into each one. These aren't rigid stages you climb like a ladder. Think of them as states or capacities that can overlap or shift depending on context. The breakdown. 5 levels of awareness. Basic sensory awareness. What it is. Pure reaction to immediate stimuli. Sights, sounds, smells, physical sensations. Where it's seen, animals, infants, or you when you're half asleep. Perceptual awareness. What it is. Processing and recognizing patterns in those stimuli, forming a mental picture of what's happening. Where it's seen, daily autopilot mode, driving, eating, basic problem solving. Self-awareness. What it is. Knowing you exist as an individual, reflecting on your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Where it's seen, introspection, therapy, or that moment you catch yourself overreacting. Meta-awareness. Meta. Awareness. What it is. Observing your awareness. Thinking about thinking. Watching your mind like an outsider. Where it's seen, meditation, mindfulness, or deep philosophical debates. Expanded transcendent awareness. What it is. A sense of connection beyond the self, grasp of systems, unity, or cosmic perspective. Where it's seen, mystical experiences, peak moments, or advanced contemplative practice. Now, let's unpack each one. 1. Basic sensory awareness. This is the ground floor, raw input from the world hitting your senses. You flinch at a loud noise, feel hunger pangs, or notice the sun's warmth. There's no analysis, just response. Biologically, this ties to the brainstem and basic survival instincts. Fight, flight, or freeze. Think of a lizard basking on a rock. It's aware enough to eat or bolt, but it's not writing poetry about the sunset. For humans, this kicks in when you're exhausted, distracted, or in a crisis. Your body reacts before your mind catches up. Ever jump at a shadow before realizing it's just a coat rack? That's this level doing its job. 2. Perceptual awareness. Here, your brain starts making sense of the raw data. You don't just hear a noise, you recognize it's a car horn. You don't just feel cold, you know it's because the window's open. This is where memory and pattern recognition come in, handled by areas like the cerebral cortex. It's your default mode for routine stuff, navigating a busy street, following a recipe, or scrolling X without much thought. It's still pretty automatic, but it's a step up because you're interpreting, not just reacting. The catch? It's prone to bias. Your brain fills in gaps based on experience, sometimes wrongly, like assuming someone's mad at you because their tone sounds off. 3. Self-awareness. This is where things get human. You realize you're the one hearing the horn or misreading the tone. You can step back and ask, why am I feeling this? What's driving me? Psychologists call this the theory of mind, not just understanding others' perspectives, but your own. It's tied to the prefrontal cortex, which lights up when you reflect or plan. This level lets you grow, think journaling, apologizing after a fight, or setting goals. But it's double-edged. Too much self-focus can spiral into anxiety or ego trips. Ever catch yourself obsessing over a dumb thing you said? That's self-awareness gone overboard. 4. Meta-awareness. Now you're watching the watcher. It's not just I'm angry, it's I notice I'm angry and I see how my mind's spinning about it. This is the realm of mindfulness or metacognition, awareness of awareness itself. Neurologically, it involves networks like the default mode network calming down, letting you detach from the chatter. Meditators chase this, sitting with a thought without getting lost in it. It's powerful for clarity. Imagine arguing but staying calm because you're aware of your emotions without being hijacked by them. Downside? It can feel detached or navel-gazing if you overdo it, like analyzing your life instead of living it. 5. Expanded transcendent awareness. This is the big one, hard to pin down. It's when the boundaries of you blur and you tap into something larger, whether that's nature, humanity, or the universe itself. Some describe it as oneness or flow. Think of an artist lost in creation, a scientist seeing the whole puzzle, or a spiritual seeker feeling part of everything. Brain-wise, it might involve quieting the self-focused parts, like the parietal lobe, while syncing up broader networks. It's rare and fleeting for most. Maybe you've felt it stargazing or in a profound moment of love. The risk? You might sound like a hippie or lose touch with practical reality if you hang out here too long. How to play out. These levels aren't a straight line. You bounce between them daily. Waking up groggy? Level 1. Planning your day. Level 2. Questioning your habits. Level 3. Meditating on it. Level 4. Feeling suddenly connected to all life while sipping coffee. Level 5. Briefly. Context matters too. Stress might drop you to survival mode, while a quiet hike might nudge you higher. What's your take? Want to zoom in on one, like how to cultivate meta-awareness? Or what science says about transcendence? Or maybe how this applies to something specific in your life? I'm game either way. Levels of awareness. This refers to the different stages a person goes through in their understanding of themselves, reality, and the divine. It's often used in psychology, spirituality, and self-development to describe how people perceive and process life experiences. Example: someone might start with a survival-based awareness, focusing on basic needs, and move toward higher awareness, understanding interconnectedness and spiritual truths. Spectrum of consciousness. This concept suggests that consciousness exists on a range, from lower ego-driven states to higher enlightened states. It's a fluid scale, much like a spectrum of light, where different levels of consciousness vibrate at different frequencies. Example: fear, anger, and shame vibrate at lower frequencies, while love, joy, and peace vibrate at higher ones. States of being. Rather than seeing consciousness as a ladder to climb, this term frames it as different modes of existence. A person can shift between different states based on their thoughts, emotions, and spiritual practices. Example: you might enter a state of peace through meditation or gratitude, or a state of stress through worry and fear. Consciousness scale. This is a structured way of measuring different states of consciousness. Dr. David Hawkins' map of consciousness is a famous example, ranking emotions from low, shame, guilt, to high, love, enlightenment, based on energy levels. Example: a person vibrating at the frequency of courage, 200 on Hawkins' scale, is empowered, while someone in fear, 100, is more restricted. Awareness matrix. This refers to a more interconnected model of consciousness, where awareness is seen as a network of thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that shape our perception of reality. It suggests that our awareness is influenced by both internal and external factors. Example: someone raised in a fearful environment may have an awareness matrix built around fear until they reprogram their thinking. Path of enlightenment. This term describes consciousness as a journey where one moves from ignorance and ego-driven behavior toward wisdom and divine realization. Many spiritual traditions, including Buddhism and Christianity, speak of a path to higher awareness. Example: Jesus and Buddha both exemplified walking the path of enlightenment through their teachings and way of life. Journey of the soul. This perspective sees consciousness as part of a soul's evolution across lifetimes, expanding in wisdom and love. It suggests that consciousness growth is not limited to this life, but continues beyond physical existence. Example: some believe in reincarnation, where the soul progresses through different experiences to reach ultimate oneness with God. Hierarchy of awareness. This concept organizes consciousness into levels, often with higher awareness associated with love, wisdom, and unity, while lower levels are more self-focused and limited. Example: Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a psychological model that mirrors this, starting from survival needs and leading to self-actualization. Vibrational scale. Everything is energy, and consciousness can be understood through vibrational frequency. Lower frequencies, shame, fear, feel heavy, while higher ones, love, gratitude, feel light and expansive. Example: music, words, and thoughts all carry vibrations that can lift or lower your frequency. Divine blueprint of mind. This idea suggests that consciousness follows a divine pattern encoded within us by God. It implies that the journey of consciousness is about remembering and aligning with this divine design. Example: many believe we are born with a deep connection to God, but as we grow, external influences cloud this, and awakening is about returning to this blueprint. Field of consciousness. This refers to consciousness as a vast, interconnected field rather than an individual experience. Some scientists and mystics suggest that all minds are connected within this universal field. Example: the Akashic records are believed to be a field where all knowledge and experiences are stored. Ascension model. This concept frames consciousness growth as an ascension process where people move from lower density, ego-based, to higher density, love-based existence. It's often used in spiritual and New Age teachings. Example: many believe humanity is currently undergoing a planetary ascension into higher consciousness. Framework of perception. This emphasizes that consciousness is shaped by our beliefs, experiences, and cultural conditioning. It suggests that by shifting our perceptions, we can shift our level of consciousness. Example: someone stuck in victim mentality may shift to empowerment by changing their perception of challenges. Wisdom ladder. This metaphor presents consciousness as a ladder of wisdom, where each step represents a deeper understanding of life and spiritual truths. Example, the Bible says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." Proverbs 9:10. This suggests that reverence for God is the first step on the wisdom ladder. Energy frequency chart. This term maps out consciousness levels based on energetic frequencies, much like how sound and light have measurable frequencies. Example, the Schumann resonance, Earth's frequency, is thought to influence human consciousness, and raising one's vibration aligns with higher frequencies of love and peace. Final thoughts. Each of these concepts offers a different way to understand consciousness. Some focus on levels, some on energy, and others on perception. But they all point to one truth: we are evolving beings meant to rise into greater love, wisdom, and unity with God.